videos for gut health. My name is Belén and I love food and nutrition, and I truly believe that health starts in your gut. Today's meal is full of anti-inflammatory nutrients and fiber for a happy gut. I am making a roasted butternut squash and a cauliflower and almond soup. For the roasted butternut squash recipe, I'm using 2 butternut squashes, a leek, courgette, white mushrooms, a little bit of milk, tomato passata and flour, and finally some feta cheese. And for the cauliflower and almond soup, I'm using a cauliflower, an onion, some almonds, kale, pomegranate seeds. My condiments are ground ginger, nutmeg, turmeric, and coriander. Obviously olive oil and salt. This meal is low fat, low calorie, packed with nutrients. Most of your B vitamins are here. Loads of your essential minerals like calcium, magnesium and zinc are here, and also fiber. So step 1 is to cook our butternut squashes, and I have already done so for the purpose of this video. So as you can see, they have been cut lengthwise and put in the oven with a little bit, sprinkled with a little bit of olive oil on top for about 50 minutes, and that is 50 at about 200 degrees. Now we have to scoop out the meat, take off the seeds, and with a lot of patience, scoop out the meat. Just like that. Next, we're going to chop and brown our veggies in a little olive oil. And then our mushrooms, and leeks and mushrooms. And then I'm gonna chop my courgette. And the courgette is going to be cooked in a different pan. And in it goes courgette. While the veggies are cooking, let's make our cauliflower soup, which is a super simple recipe. It just has 3 ingredients. So onion, cauliflower and almonds. And the almonds here will give the soup a creamy texture that is really, really lovely. It's really yummy. So we have our onion and cauliflower in there. I just added a little bit of water, just enough to cover it, no more. And then we add our almonds. I'm using here flaked almonds, but you could use whole or ground. This is about 100 grams of almonds. And we're just going to boil together, let it boil until the cauliflower is tender. And then we'll blend it, and that will be our soup. So our veggies are cooked, and it's time to add some spices. I have here ground ginger, turmeric, about a teaspoon of turmeric, and right. So I'm mixing all the veggies, leeks and courgette and mushrooms, to the butternut squash meat, and just like that. Look at the colors, orange and green, I love it. So I'm gonna use now buckwheat flour. I'm gonna add about 1/4 of a cup. And the reason I'm using buckwheat flour is because I want to use a gluten-free flour. But you could use your standard flour. And we mix well. And then I'm going to add about 50 ml of milk. In this case I'm using oat milk because I want to use a dairy-free alternative. Ready for the final step. Coriander and feta on top. So we'll go something like that. If you are trying to avoid dairy, or if you're vegan, you could use a vegan alternative to feta cheese. I just love feta cheese because it's made out of sheep and goat's milk and live culture, so it's actually a probiotic. There you go, and then some herb on top. Look at those lovely colors in here. And ready for the oven now. Let's check on the cauliflower, and it's ready. One thing here I forgot, and this happens in recipes that you forget some ingredients. In this case, I forgot to add a spice, and I have here nutmeg, and it's okay to add it a little bit later. That happens quite often, that we forget an ingredient somehow, and that is okay. So, okay, final stages. So we have our soup here, and our roasted butternut squashes, and time to serve. That's our soup. And I'm gonna use some kale and pomegranate seeds just to give it a little bit of extra flavor and extra colors. So with the kale, I have here fresh kale that I have cleaned and put in the oven at 120 for about 10 minutes. And that gives me this roasted kale, and I don't know, can you hear the crispiness? Can you hear the sound? So this is what we're aiming for, that kind of crispiness. And this is what we're going to add to the soup. In it goes flavor, nutrients, and crispiness. And then a little bit of pomegranate seeds, sorry. And it's just lovely. Look at that. Finally, I'm serving butternut squash. Okay, and I'm gonna place everything in one plate so you can see exactly the final dish. So here we have another meal that is packed with nutrients. It's also low calorie, low fat. I just love it. I love the colors and I love the flavors, the combination. It makes a complete meal. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Keep up with my videos, and remember, healthy gut, healthy you.